All right, let's go into this final project number 3 presentation package and just talk a little bit through what you can expect as far as this module goes and this final assignment. So project number 3 is 20 point, worth 15% of your grade. Make sure you get it in on time. It's a compilation, again, of all the work that you've completed for project number 3, and think about it as a case study. Think about it as a portfolio piece, and really serving as a great overview of the work that you've done for user research here over the past several weeks. Now, the caveat to this is, unlike projects number 1 and 2 and project 4, where we're going to focus on more visual deliverables, this really focused this project on analysis and the discovery phase of UI UX design, of the design process. And so while this is going to serve as a great summary of that work, I would challenge you to maybe think about how you can be a little bit clever in the way you present the information, not just straight text-based on the page itself. And so how can you design and craft a presentation that encapsulates all the work that you did in project number 3 without having those large visuals that we had, like IA maps and mood boards and things like that, like we had in projects number 1 and 2. So like we've done before, this should serve as a standalone kind of a piece that kind of explains all the work that you did. For somebody who wasn't a part of this project or wasn't in your group, they can get an idea of what your project was like and what your final outcomes are. Compile your work like you've done before from all the previous milestones and weave that together to tell the story. And like I said, this is going to be different because it's going to be very text-based. And so I want to challenge you to think about this presentation, theming it based off the name of the app and some of the things that y'all have done, whether that's theming it, taking inspiration what you did from your personas, or if you're thinking about already kind of what that next step's going to be when it comes to a style guide or comes to a brand or an icon or logo as a part of your app. Maybe start thinking about that and lay some groundwork, kind of very baseline, to kind of create a theme for this presentation based off the app you've chosen. Maybe if you chose a tourism or travel app, some of those more touristy kind of destination-based photography or background images or things like that come into play. If you chose music app, some of those different things as well. So I want to encourage you to do that, because this could very easily be just a straight, left-aligned text-based presentation. And I just want to say I'm looking for more than that here. So I want to encourage you to think creatively about how you present this information while also keeping it, consistent and easy to read and easy to digest. So just want to say that here at the onset. So as far as the requirements go, again, PDF like we've done before, the 1920 by 1080 kind of widescreen format there. Your file should include all the highlights from your work from project number 3 and your final app features and links to your interviews. I'm going to add here your final file name should just be project number 3 _ final package _ your initials, like we've done for project 2 and project 1. As far as the instructions go, encourage you to go back and review your interviews one more time and search for patterns and common themes that you see from your different participants' answers. These themes and the things that you pick up on from these presentations or from these interviews are going to allow you to find those two additional features that you're looking for to create kind of a three-pronged approach for your final application. So go back, review those one more time, look for those different themes where maybe somebody said something similar in interview 1 and 2, and maybe the next time around interviews 3 and 1 said something similar. And so you want to try to find those consistent themes from interview to interview. Also revisit any work, like I talked about with the personas. So revisit any work from the previous milestones and make any necessary updates to that original work based on my feedback, your peer feedback, and include that here in the project number 3 final package. So as far as the layout, it's very similar that I'm looking for from project number 1 and 2. A title slide, a basic overview, your outcomes, kind of your elevator summary statement, and then the process examples. So the product overview itself, so the name, the genre you picked, the purpose statement that you wrote early on in the project. You want to include your personas that you created with any updates that are applicable, your testing objectives that you wrote for a few assignments ago, and your interview summaries. I don't need to have the testing script that you wrote, because your objectives and your interview summary should give me an idea of how those interviews went. Of course, if anybody was curious, if you use this as a presentation or a portfolio piece, they can always go back and watch the links, click on the links and watch those interviews themselves. So include those interview summaries here, as well as then common themes. So include 3 at minimum common themes or patterns that you picked up on or you heard from your users in the interviews. And then finally, the product features that you're going to include in your app. So what will be the 3 key features that you'll include in your app? Remember, you already have one that was defined for you in the project number 3 project statement. And so based off of your research, what are those 2 additional features on top of that one that you'll look to include in your final app design? So you're going to share that PDF plus 200 to 300 words identifying your biggest challenge and your proudest moment when conducting your user research in project number 3. So I'm excited to see kind of all this come together. Again, I think this is a great opportunity to understand just a little bit about kind of the other side of UI, UX, and interactive design, and really, how can you create a user-driven, user-based product? And I think, this married with what we'll do in project number 4 will really help kind of at the end of this course showcase kind of the end-to-end process of a UI, UX designer, and give you a good idea of kind of the common deliverables or examples of work that you would expect to do if this was something that you chose to do as a career. So I'm excited about this. I'm looking forward to seeing what y'all do. Remember, I've also included an overview of project number 4 down below this. And so pay attention to that. It's a quick 5-point discussion post to get us thinking about project number 4 as we wrap up project number 3. And hopefully that'll kind of get us primed and ready for next week's work as we jump into project 4 and round out the rest of the semester with an end-to-end project and creating your first mobile app or clickable prototype for a mobile app. So hopefully this is helpful, and I'll talk with you all later. All right, thanks everybody.